Unveiling the divine justice of Archangel Michael, a sacred guardian watches over you in sleep. I never expected a single dream to change everything. It was a night like no other. The air felt charged, like electricity racing beneath my skin. Each breath was heavy with an unseen weight. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, my heart pounding with longing and fear. I yearned for something greater than myself. As I drifted off to sleep, shadows danced around the edges of my mind. It was there, in the twilight between worlds, that I first saw him. Archangel Michael, in his resplendent glory, his wings shimmering in hues of blue and gold. Light radiated from him, warm and inviting, yet fierce enough to consume doubts and darkness in an instant. With a gaze that pierced through the veil of my existence, he lifted me from the mundane into the realm of the divine. That I felt Athena fluttering, like wings brushing against my soul. It was as if he was whispering secrets of the universe, convincing me that I was never alone. Strangely, I could see reflections of my life unfolding before me. Every moment, every decision, bathed in the presence of something celestial. Why had I never noticed this before? The signs surrounding me were everywhere, from the glowing light of street lamps to the fleeting shadows among the trees, but with each revelation came doubt. My chest tightened as questions swirled. Was this real? Could an archangel truly watch over me? My pulse quickened as I recalled the stories of those who'd encountered him. They spoke of justitia, divine reckoning, swift and powerful. What if I were to meet him, not in the serenity of sleep, but in the chaos of my waking life? Just then, a sudden chill enveloped me, sending goosebumps spiraling down my arms. I sat upright, the darkness around me thick with tension. The silence was daunting, so loud in its emptiness. Something was coming. But what? A vision of my own creation, or something far more perilous? The stillness felt heavy, like a storm about to break, and with that thought, a blinding flash surged through my mind. A sign? Or a warning? I couldn't tell. Everything felt intertwined: fate, choice, fear. I was trapped in this web of uncertainty, teetering on the edge of discovery. That I was hungry for clarity, but all I found were more questions. What was Archangel Michael trying to tell me? The edges of my vision blurred, the shadows growing deeper. I wanted to reach out, to grasp the truth, but the tighter I clung, the more it slipped away. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As dawn broke, its soft rays kissed the horizon, spilling delicate shades of pink and orange across the sky. I felt disoriented, tangled in the remnants of my dreams. The ethereal space that had enveloped me so carefully felt elusive, slipping away like mist as I sat on the edge of my bed. Shadows from the night before lingered, urging me to reflect on what had transpired. A gaze into the depths of both my inner and outer worlds. Compelled to escape the confines of my room, I stepped outside. A fresh breeze danced against my skin, infused with the scent of dew-kissed grass and awakening flowers. Nature seemed to pulse with life, each rustle of leaves a heartbeat in the profound silence. The world around me felt both familiar and alien, as if the air had shifted overnight, revealing layers obscured from view. As I wandered through my neighborhood, I found myself drawn toward the small park nearby. It had always been a refuge, but today it felt like a sacred ground. An unknowing guide led my feet along the winding path that flanked the vibrant flower beds. The flowers, bright with their vivid colors, swayed gently in harmony with the soft wind. I couldn't help but think of how in the past I'd rushed through life, oblivious to the beauty that lay in stillness and observation. That in the center of the park stood an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches extending like arms reaching toward the heavens. I approached its trunk, feeling an inexplicable pull toward its steadfast presence. I placed my palm against the rough bark, its age and wisdom grounding me. Suddenly, an overwhelming sense of peace washed over me, fluid and warm, as if the tree was sharing a timeless secret with my restless spirit. It was then that I noticed an unusual sight: a lone feather, golden and shimmering in the dawn light, nestled at the base of the oak. My heart quickened as I knelt to pick it up. It felt warm in my hand, and a wave of recognition surged through me. Was this a sign? A gift from Archangel Michael? The feather embodied the purity of divine protection, encouraging me to trust in the unseen forces guiding my path. As I examined the feather, a young boy with bright eyes and wild curls approached, his gaze fixated on me. That's a special feather. Do you know who it belongs to? His innocent inquiry seemed layered with significance. How did he know? This boy, seemingly ordinary yet undeniably profound, felt like another manifestation of divine attention. I think it belongs to an angel, I replied, caught off guard yet drawn into his curiosity. He nodded earnestly. Angels watch over us. My grandma says they help us when we need it most. His voice brimmed with certainty, and I felt the truth in his words reverberate through the air. But what does it mean when you find one? I pressed, eager to unravel this child's wisdom. It means you're being called to be brave. Angels help us be brave. His reply was straightforward, yet it struck a chord deep within. Bravery, an elusive concept that I often equated with grand gestures, yet in that moment, I felt its resonance in the simple act of standing at the threshold of discovery. As he turned to leave, my mind raced with thoughts. Would I summon the courage to heed this call for bravery? To delve deeper into the lessons Michael was whispering? I felt that I was being coaxed to reflect on the unknown, to embrace uncertainty as part of my evolving journey. I left the park, feather clasped tightly in my hand, lost in contemplation. Each step echoed the question that clawed at my consciousness: what confrontations awaited me on this path of awakening? The mystery was unyielding, unfurling like the wings of a great bird preparing for flight. I clung to the feather, a tangible reminder of my connection to the divine, yet still it raised new questions. Was this feather merely a catalyst, or an omen of choices yet to be made? With open heart and curious spirit, I resolved to seek the answers hidden within the folds of my reality. What awaited me on the horizon? The journey was just beginning, but with it loomed the vast unknown, an enigma waiting to be unveiled. As I ventured further from the park, the stillness swallowed the morning sounds, leaving me enveloped in a profound sense of anticipation. I began to notice more of the world around me: intricate dance of sunlight playing on the leaves, the vibrant hum of life captured in the simple act of a butterfly fluttering past, as if it were buoyed by an unseen force. Each echoing beat of my heart seemed to synchronize with the rhythm of nature, and I felt an undeniable connection to all that existed. The winding streets led me to a tranquil lake that mirrored the sky's evolving hues, a canvas painted in ripples of azure and gold. I sat on a weathered dock, my legs dangling above the water's surface, each droplet a tiny window reflecting my inner contemplation. While I observed the flickering shadows, a soft voice broke through my reverie: beautiful, isn't it? An elderly woman, her silver hair flowing like the gentle waves, settled beside me, her presence radiating warmth. She gazed kindly at the water, her eyes holding an ancient wisdom. Yes, I replied, drawn to her serene demeanor. It feels alive. It is life, dear, she chuckled softly. The lake speaks to those who listen. Its stillness holds an abundance of stories and secrets of the heart. What brings you here? I hesitated, feeling somewhat exposed as I recounted my journey and the golden feather. Her expression deepened as I spoke, and I realized she was not merely hearing my words, but truly listening with her spirit. The feather is a gift of courage, but it is also a reminder of balance, she said. To uncover the mysteries of the divine, one must embrace both light and shadow. Her gaze moved to the horizon, as though she could see beyond the veil of ordinary perception. Archangel Michael beckons you to face your fears, yet fear is a natural part of illumination. Balance? I echoed, intrigued by her insight. How does one balance courage with fear? She smiled, her eyes twinkling with knowledge. Fear indicates a desire for security, and bravery arises from our willingness to plunge into the unknown. When we accept our fears as guiding lights rather than hindrances, we forge the path of awakening. Ask yourself, what truths lie buried beneath your doubts? Her words reverberated within me, igniting a flicker of awareness. I held the feather tightly, contemplating the trust it represented. What fears, unaddressed, kept me shackled? Perhaps this was the appointed moment to confront the shadows my heart often shied away from acknowledging. I've often felt lost, I admitted. Like I'm chasing after something just out of reach. Ah, but the search itself can reveal what you seek. She gestured to the lake, her finger tracing the delicate ripples. Dive deep, and you may find unexpected treasures lying beneath the surface. Trust your journey, allow the questions to emerge, and don't shy away from the depths. That I watched her closely, sensing the weight of her presence, as if she embodied the timeless lessons I craved. She leaned in closer, her voice lowered. Remember, child, sometimes the brightest revelations come through chaos. Allow each encounter, each feather and question, to guide you. You are not simply here to find answers, you are meant to cultivate a relationship with divine inquiry. As I absorbed this wisdom, I felt an electric current run through me. There was stillness in the air, yet my spirit hummed with curiosity about the unfolding tapestry of my life. What new mysteries awaited? What encounters were destined to steer me toward further revelations? With gratitude, I took a deep breath, the scent of wood and earth filling my lungs, and as I exhaled, I felt a weight lifting. Thank you, I whispered, aware of how impossible it might be to express the gratitude swelling in my chest. The woman rose to her feet, her laughter bright and airy. Your journey is yours to discover, young seeker. May the winds of clarity guide your sails. And just as suddenly as she had appeared, she sauntered away, leaving me in quiet reflection. I sensed the meaning of the feather blurring into a larger perspective. Grounded in trust and exploration, yet the question loomed like an unextinguished flame: what must I explore within myself to uncover the truths that lie hidden in the shadowed corners of my heart? With resolute determination, I resolved to peer into the depths, my mind a treasure map leading to uncharted territories of spirit and experience. Each step illuminated the path ahead, each heartbeat fluttering with the potential of what lay beyond. The quest for understanding beckoned, poised with the promise of transformation. Would I have the courage to follow it? As the sun dipped below the horizon, wrapping the world in a cloak of twilight, I felt the weight of its departure remind me of the ever-circulating cycle of endings and beginnings. The cool evening air enveloped me as I decided to wander along the lake's edge. Here, in this liminal space between day and night, I pondered on the woman's words, their resonance still echoing within my mind. The water, now reflecting the deepening blues of the sky, shimmered with a gentle apprehension as if it too awaited what was to come. My fingers trailed through the surface, sending small ripples gliding away like fleeting thoughts scattering into the cosmos. I closed my eyes, prompting a wave of awareness, trying to discern the whispers the water might share. Suddenly, a soft rustling from nearby shrubbery broke the serene stillness. I opened my eyes to see a fox emerge, its russet fur glowing in the fading light. It paused as though assessing my presence, its gaze steady yet inscrutable. I felt an odd connection with this creature, an instinctual understanding blossoming within the vibrant depths of its warm amber eyes. Am I meant to follow you? I murmured, half to myself and half to the wild creature. It tilted its head, as if encouraging me to step forward. With cautious curiosity, I began walking beside it, the fox leading me deeper into the dense foliage that bordered the lake. The path was tangled and uncertain, illuminated only by the flickering stars above. Each step felt purposeful, as if guided not by mere chance but by a destiny intertwined with the natural world. The woods whispered secrets I could not yet comprehend, their rich fragrances heightening my senses, revealing layers of the universe I had yet to experience. After some time, the fox halted near a large, gnarled tree whose roots stretched out like ancient hands, grasping for the sky. I knelt beside it, awash in its sturdy presence. This didn't feel like a mere encounter but rather a communion with wisdom embedded in the earth. I recalled the woman's words, urging me to dive deep. Was this tree an invitation to explore my own grounding, my own roots? As I leaned against the thick trunk, I reached down to the soil, running my fingers through the earth. To my surprise, I uncovered a small, smooth stone, its surface cool against my skin. Immediately, an electric surge of energy coursed through me as I turned the stone over, noticing erosion patterns that resembled swirling galaxies. Here, in my grasp, it hinted at a connection to the vastness of the universe and to my own existence, reverberating with the promise of hidden potential. My gaze moved upward, where the branches intertwined, forming a natural lattice against the star-studded sky. The splendid sight urged a deeper inquiry: what aspects of my life have I overlooked? What shadows reside in the unnoticed, waiting to be unveiled? The weight of my thoughts tightened as the fox brushed against my leg, its presence a reminder of the unseen allies guiding me on this unfolding path. In this sacred silence, a sudden breeze swept through the leaves, causing the branches to dance, and I imagined the Archangel Michael watching over me, his wings forging the winds of divine justice. I could feel his guidance enveloping me like a loving embrace, urging me to stand with courage against the torrents of doubt threatening to overwhelm my spirit. I pondered the significance of this encounter with the fox, its enigmatic quality reflecting the wild side of my own spirit yet to be explored. Perhaps these layers of existence held the keys to unlocking my heart's hidden truths. What narratives have I resisted? What fears must I embrace to expose the hidden treasures fearlessly buried within? These questions formed a luminous tapestry of possibility, illuminating my path forward into the blank canvas of my journey. I felt the rock growing warm in my hand, pulsing with life, a gentle reminder that transformation often requires us to dig deep, confront the messiness, and embrace the unknown. As I stood to leave the ancient tree, the fox gazed intently, as if challenging me to take this newfound revelation into the world. I breathed a silent vow into the night air, promising to honor the journey ahead, to engage wholeheartedly with the questions that would arise. The stars blinked above, sharing in my resolve, and in that quiet moment, I surrendered to the journey. What shadows will I encounter as I navigate the obscured corners of my heart? What gifts await when I dare to unearth the deeper truths hidden within? The cosmos seemed to whisper, enticing me to continue this sacred exploration, and I felt ready to embrace whatever revelations lay ahead. The moon hovered high above, casting a silvery glow that illuminated my path as I left behind the gnarled tree, my heart still racing with the thrill of discovery. The fox, my fleeting companion, had slipped back into the shadowy underbrush, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the stone cradled gently in my palm. With each step, the weight of the universe felt a little lighter, as if the secrets I had touched were beckoning me to wander even further into the realms of my own spirit. Drawing closer to the water's edge once more, a sudden silence enveloped me, a profound stillness that stretched across the lake like a tangible thing. This was no ordinary hush, it felt suffused with possibility. I knelt by the water again, enchanted by the way the moonlight danced along its surface. The stone resonated within me, a heartbeat echoing the pulse of life and the infinite potential that lay dormant within. As I gazed into the depths, the image began to shift and swirl, revealing scenes from my own past woven into the fabric of the water. Faces long familiar and emotions both cherished and painful flickered in the reflections, childhood laughter juxtaposed with lingering doubts, memories of love eclipsed by moments of loss. Here in the lake, I understood that healing was not merely about letting go but about embracing the entire spectrum of my experiences, the light and the dark intermingling to form the tapestry of my soul. In that moment, a shimmering figure appeared in the water, partially obscured by the ethereal fog that rolled in, a luminous presence radiating serenity. It was not the Archangel Michael, as I had initially imagined, but another spirit, equally vibrant, a woman adorned in flowing robes, her hair cascading like waterfalls of starlight. She beckoned me closer, her hands outstretched, exuding an aura of understanding that invited me into her embrace. Fear not what you see, her voice rippled through the air, clear and soothing. I am Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom, and I have come to guide you through these waters of remembrance. With each word, I felt layers of emotion ripple through me, revealing the wisdom inherent in my own story. What do I need to learn from this reflection? I asked, feeling an urgency to understand what this ethereal being had to share. Your journey is woven with contrasts, she replied, a smile gracing her lips. In your shadows lies the key to your light. Identify what burdens your heart, and you will uncover the strength to navigate the unseen paths that call you. As she spoke, visions of unhealed wounds emerged, connections severed, opportunities unacknowledged, and the unfiltered joy that had occasionally slipped through my fingers. Each image pulled at the fibers of my spirit, urging me to embrace them, to claim all aspects of my experience as vital threads in the fabric of my existence. Will I ever find peace? I asked, my voice tinged with vulnerability. Can I ever reconcile these dissonant parts of myself? Sophia leaned closer, her eyes sparkling with a compassionate fire. Peace is not a destination but a journey, my dear traveler. It blossoms when you honor every choice and acknowledge every tear. The essence of your divinity lies in loving yourself wholly. A gentle breeze lifted, carrying whispers of encouragement that danced around me like musical notes. I could feel that deep within my heart, the seeds of understanding were beginning to germinate, seeds planted by moments both tender and tumultuous. Guided by this newfound awareness, hope ignited like stars in the night sky, their light reaching into the depths of my being. As the illusions of my past began to transform into lessons, a question surfaced yet again: how does one begin to nurture the wisdom of these experiences? How do I cultivate the strength needed to face my shadows with love rather than fear? With that unanswered question lingering in the space between me and the lake, the figure of Sophia began to dissolve, leaving traces of her luminous essence in the stillness. I took a deep breath and whispered my gratitude, feeling a connection to a vast network of wisdom that spanned beyond my understanding. What awaited in the embrace of growth and healing was not just the act of searching, but the gentle awareness of the journey itself. Reaching for the smooth stone, I squinted at the stars above, seeking answers amongst their eternal dance. In the quiet aftermath of the encounter, I felt prepared to step with courage into the unknown realms ahead, yet an unmistakable question remained. What further revelations lie hidden within the shadows of my heart, waiting to be illuminated by the wisdom of my journey? The dawn broke gently, casting a soft light that filtered through the trees, painting the world in shades of gold. I rose, still wrapped in the warmth of my encounter with Sophia, yet tethered by an inexplicable urge to venture deeper into the embrace of the forest. The whispers of the lake echoed in my mind, urging me to explore the unseen facets of my existence that still lay shrouded in mystery. As I wandered, the air turned crisp and alive with the sounds of fluttering leaves, birds chirping their morning greetings, and the distant rush of water cascading over stones. Each sound seemed to resonate with my heartbeat, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. I felt fewer boundaries between myself and the world, my spirit ignited by the knowledge that I was but a note in the grand symphony of life. Further along the path, I stumbled upon a clearing, where a colossal oak tree stood sentinel, its majestic branches reaching wide. The very trunk appeared ancient, gnarled and twisted, but in that imperfection lay a beauty that captured my soul. It was a living testament to resilience, having weathered countless storms yet continuing to stand tall, inviting the sun's caress. Drawn to its presence, I approached, placing my hand upon its rough bark, feeling the pulse of life flow through it. In that moment, I became aware of a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The air crackled with heightened energy, and before me materialized a figure bathed in silver light. He was tall, with wings that exuded a brilliance as if spun from threads of dawn. The insignia emblazoned upon his breast, resembling intertwined swords, shimmered in a way that drew my gaze. I felt the weight of both awe and reverence, grounded by a sense of protection enveloping me like a warm cloak. "Greetings, Seeker," he spoke, his voice resonating deep within my core. "I am Michael, guardian of the balance between light and shadow, a torchbearer of divine justice." A surge of recognition coursed through me, and in that instant, a deep understanding began to unfold. Though I had sought Sophia for understanding, a clerical order of elements began to balance in my consciousness. "Is this where I must confront my shadows?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," he replied, the light about him flickering with intensity. "But know that your shadows do not seek to consume you, instead, they offer lessons wrapped in the fabric of pain. To embrace them is to reclaim your power and ignite your purpose." As his words penetrated my being, I felt a tremor in my heart, a challenge rising within me. But how do I face them? They echo through my spirit like haunting whispers, they instill fear in my very being. "Fear not the fear itself," he urged, his eyes emanating a fierce compassion. "For in your bravery to look upon your scars, there lies healing. Remember, the shadows cannot endure the light of your awareness. A profound stillness enveloped me as I pondered his wisdom, my heart longing for release and understanding, yet marred with uncertainty. Can you help me? I asked, desperately yearning for my own resolution as his presence loomed larger, granting strength to the pulse within my spirit. Can you lend clarity to my wrestling soul? Michael nodded, a gleam of light shining through his expression. I will guide you, but the journey must be your own. Trust in the power of discernment. Each step forward begins with questions. Seek not judgments, but truths embedded in the darkness. What do you feel? What do you fear? And what will you transform? His words lingered in the air, ascending into the canopy of branches above, blending with the rustling leaves. The oak tree pulsed with life, as though absorbing the energy of our exchange, reminding me that I, too, was part of a grand cycle, roots intertwined, journeys converging. As Michael's form began to dim, retreating into the ethereal layers of light, a new vision unfolded in my mind's eye. I saw myself standing at a crossroads, surrounded by paths of various hues. Each hue represented a potential journey shaped by choices, memories, and awakenings, life I had lived and those I yearned to explore. But just as the vision solidified, a new question dawned upon me, profound and intangible, lingering like the faintest echo of a distant bell. How do I wield the light of awareness to nurture not just my peace, but also to advocate for balance in the world that surrounds me? With this question, I returned to the earthy grandeur of the oak, feeling the gentle weight of responsibility intertwined with hope. Entwined with the forest's breath, my journey unfolded with endless possibilities. The path ahead remained shrouded, but with every rustle of the leaves, I felt the stirring of revelation, a promise waiting to be born anew. The deeper I ventured into the embrace of the forest, the more the world around me transformed. The foliage grew richer, painted with vibrant greens and hints of deep purple, as if each leaf echoed a secret melody. The air hung thick with the scent of damp earth and the sweet perfume of wildflowers, wrapping around me like an intimate embrace, inviting me to dig deeper into the essence of my journey. With the wisdom imparted by Michael still reverberating through me, my heart remained entangled in contemplation. I felt the shadows beckoning, daring me to confront the slices of darkness woven into my being. Yet as I walked, surrounded by nature's luminescent tapestry, I sensed another force emerging, one of luminous hope rather than stark fear. In time, I came upon a gentle stream, its waters glistening under the caress of sunlight, dancing over smooth stones and creating an ethereal symphony. I knelt beside it, allowing my fingers to dip into the coolness, feeling the energy of life flowing freely. There was a quaint intimacy to the moment, a silent communion between my soul and the waters, whispering promises of renewal. Suddenly, the surface of the stream shimmered and morphed before my eyes, revealing images from my past, and I found myself watching scenes play out like an old film. There were moments of joy, love, laughter, but also flashes of pain, isolation, injuries that left scars invisible to the world. Each frame pulled on my heartstrings, awakening memories long buried. The laughter of old friends contrasted with echoes of heartache, and each flicker of memory painted a clearer picture of the shadows I had carried. A soft voice emerged from the stream, harmonizing with the flow of water. Everything you see is a part of your tapestry, woven with threads of experience and truth. I looked up to see a figure emerge, a woman with flowing hair that glistened like the stream itself. In her eyes, I saw the depth of compassion and the fierce wisdom of the ancients. Who are you? I breathed, entranced by her presence. I am Mira, the voice of reflection, she said gently. I exist where nature and spirit embrace, helping souls remember their truths. You have been presented with currents of the past, each moment a stroke on the canvas of who you are. For your shadows are the shadows of many, shared in the collective journey of humanity. Her words washed over me, lapping at the shores of my consciousness. But I feel trapped. How do I move beyond these moments? I cried, standing at the riverbank where darkness and light converged, desperately seeking an answer. Every memory when witnessed blooms anew. Acknowledge them. It is in this act of recognition that their grip can loosen, she whispered, her eyes mirroring the depth of the flowing stream. Have you contemplated what these memories have taught you? What wisdom older than pain lies within their shadows? As her voice drifted into the air, I fell silent in contemplation. The questions she posed stirred something within, a flicker of understanding. I had always seen my shadows as burdens, weights dragging me down. But was there a way to reframe them as teachers, guiding me toward my truest self? In that moment of reflection, I realized that while the path before me remained unclear, I could begin to reforge the relationship I had with my past. Perhaps the first step in healing was to let go of the narratives that no longer served me and embrace the lessons hidden within. The flow of the stream echoed my newfound resolve, ever evolving, transforming, and teaching. Just as the water shapes the stones it touches, so too could I reshape the echoes of my past. That as I rose to my feet, preparing to follow the trail of this living stream deeper into the forest, a curious question burst forth from the core of my being. What if the embrace of my shadows could illuminate the paths of others, connecting us in our shared search for healing? With each step reverberating like a heartbeat against the earth, I felt the intertwining of our stories, the collective human experience magnifying the lessons learned. The journey ahead promised more revelations, more encounters. I was destined to unearth the light subtle yet fierce in the shadows of existence, both my own and those who had walked before me. The mysteries awaited in the depths of the forest, but my spirit surged forward, carrying with it questions that danced in the air like the leaves, questions that would continue to weave the intricate tapestry of my journey toward divine justice and healing. The deeper I journeyed along the banks of the stream, the forest thickened, transitioning from openness to an embrace of ancient trees whose gnarled branches arched high above, filtering the sunlight into scattered flecks of gold. I grasped the lingering wisdom of Myra's words, letting my heart expand to embrace the gift of acknowledgement she had urged upon me. The shadows were not merely remnants of sorrow, perhaps they were vessels of strength, guiding me toward a greater understanding. Ahead, the sound of water cascading over rocks drew me to a small waterfall. The rhythmic pulse of the water mirrored the thrum of life within my chest, and as I approached, I caught sight of silvery fish darting through the liquid crystal, dancing with a grace that spoke of freedom. It fascinated me, each flicking motion a testament to resilience in the ever-moving currents. As I stood there, enraptured by nature's choreography, a sudden gust of wind swept through the forest, swirling leaves around me like a tempest. The scent of pine and earth filled the air, enveloping me in a wild, untamed energy. I closed my eyes and let the wind carry my thoughts, deeper into the questions that lingered around my journey so far. When I reopened my eyes, a figure loomed at the edge of the waterfall. At first, I thought it was merely a trick of the light, an illusion crafted by the powerful beauty of the scene before me. Yet as I squinted, the shape solidified into a substantial presence cloaked in robes of a deep, iridescent blue, glimmering as if woven from the very fabric of the universe. My breath caught, I felt an undeniable pull, as if the spirit of the forest had come alive. Do not fear, the figure said softly, stepping into the shallow pool that gathered at the base of the waterfall. I am Raphael, the healer. His voice resonated like a gentle echo, reverberating through the cool mist surrounding us. I have been awaiting your arrival. There was both comfort and curiosity wrapped in his words, though questions swirled like leaves in the wind. Why are you here? What do you wish to share with me? Raphael smiled, his presence exuding warmth. I come as a guiding light for your journey. Just as your shadows offer insight, so too does the healing energy of love bring forth the power of transformation. You carry within you the gift of understanding, not just for yourself but for many, an ancient thread of empathy woven through your very being. The weight of his words settled into my bones as my heart began to quicken. But how? How can I harness this gift? I have so much to learn. By continuing to embrace your own healing, you will naturally draw others into your light. Remember, healing is not a solitary affair, it stems from the recognition of our shared experience, the understanding that we are all interconnected. Begin by lighting your own flame and let it shine for others. Trust that the current of your journey is divinely guided, he replied, gesturing toward the waterfall, symbolizing the steady flow of grace available to everyone, including me. As he spoke, a vision erupted in my mind, faces of those I had loved and lost, a montage of their struggles and triumphs juxtaposed against my own. Would my journey truly inspire others? Could my struggle become a beacon for those ensnared in their own darkness? Without warning, the sound of a soft, rustling voice threaded through the air, a melody of deep compassion that seemed to bind us. To heal is to cultivate the seed of love within, even amid trials. Do not underestimate the power of your story. Remember, dear one, you are not merely a witness to pain, you are a vessel for change. In that moment, I felt the heart of the forest beat alongside mine, echoing the sweet rhythm of connection. There was a sacredness in this dance, a profound sense of belonging that transcended the struggles I had endured. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Raphael's figure began to dissolve into the mist, leaving me with the warmth of his presence. Carry these lessons close, and let the river of your journey flow unburdened. Remember that the call of healing intertwines with the experience of love. When he had vanished completely, I stood alone, gazing at the waterfall before my steadfast motion paralleled the evolution of my spirit. What lay beneath the depths of this connection? What pearls of wisdom awaited as I continued my sojourn into the realm of healing? With my heart still suspended in contemplation, a new question arose and flared brightly. How might I allow the flames of healing to illuminate the dark recesses of my being while also lighting the way for those who felt lost in the shadows? As I took my next step, the forest whispered encouragement, teasing the edges of my burgeoning purpose and hinting at the mysteries waiting to unfurl in my path. The journey continued, and I would remain a seeker, welcoming every question, every revelation that came my way. The murmur of the stream guided my steps as I ventured deeper into the embrace of the forest. Yet as the shadows deepened and the light faded, I felt an increasing sense of anticipation. The air crackled with energy, heavy with the whispers of unseen forces, spirits of the land perhaps, or simply the very essence of the cosmos intertwining with the essence of my being. As dusk settled around me, a shimmering light began to pierce the canopy above, moonlight cascading in silver rivulets that danced on the forest floor. It illuminated a small clearing, where rocks lay arrayed in a circle, each one pulsating with a distinct hue. It was as if treasures of the earth had emerged to share their secrets. Instinctively, I stepped into the circle, feeling at once encapsulated in safety and curiosity. A figure emerged from the shadows, majestic and powerful. Clad in white robes that seemed to emit their own light, he bore an enigmatic presence. The very air around him mustered an aura of protection. "I am Michael, the Archangel," he announced, his voice resonating deeply within, stirring something primal in my soul. "You have called upon the realms for guidance, and I am here to aid your unfolding. What must I do?" I asked, my heart thrumming with an urgent desire to understand. "How do I fulfill the path revealed to me by Raphael?" Michael's gaze held the wisdom of countless ages. "To know your purpose is to embrace your vulnerabilities. Every struggle you've faced carries a thread of justice waiting to illuminate your path. In facing your fears, in acknowledging your own darkness, you carve out the space for divine healing. You possess the power to transform adversity into strength." His words resonated, a clarion call awakening deep within me. "But how can I stand strong when my own wounds often feel so raw? How can I lead others when I still feel lost myself?" "Every warrior knows pain," he replied, his voice like thunder softened by compassion. "Yet it is in this struggle that the foundation of resilience is built. Remember, the light you seek to shine upon others begins with the acceptance of your own shadows. You are not alone in this. Draw from the energies that surround you. They are not merely fleeting whispers but echoes of the divine calling you home. In that moment, flickers of memories ignited in my mind, the pain of loss, the confusion of purpose, and yet also the moments of profound joy, connection, and love that had stitched together the fabric of my life. Each recollection resonated like a prayer released into the night, binding me to something greater. Michael continued, his expression softening. "There exists a balance between joy and suffering, and it is a balance that reflects the divine trust imbued in all beings. As your understanding deepens, allow these truths to elevate your spirit to a realm of acceptance and action. When you tend to your own inner garden, the blossoms of wisdom will guide those wandering in darkness toward the light." I felt the weight of his presence, a warm embrace that held the promise of guidance and protection. The golden threads weaving through the universe began to reveal themselves as I contemplated his words. Could it be that my struggles have woven a tapestry starring each moment of growth? Could my journey lift others? Indeed, he replied. Embrace the uncertainty, for in it lies a sacred power. As you walk this path, know that every step forward multiplies the strength of your vibration. Others will feel your light and will be drawn to your authenticity. Through your truth, you will serve as a beacon in the collective dark. As his figure began to fade into the ether, a tranquility washed over me. The understanding that I was never truly alone settled like dew upon my soul. The forest, once merely a backdrop to my journey, felt alive, pulsating with possibilities. I was but a part of a grander narrative, eternally entwined in the threads of existence. With the moonlight reflecting off the stones around me, an intuitive question took root within: if my struggles serve as the foundation of light, how might I share these transformative stories in a way that honors others' journeys while shining a light upon my own? The winds of the forest seemed to whisper secrets, inviting me to explore the depths yet unexplored. This sacred quest was far from finished, revelations awaited, and my heart raced with the exhilaration of the path ahead, eager to embrace the divine mysteries unfolding before me. As I walked deeper into the forest, the shadows began to stretch and intertwine with the flickering beams of moonlight. The tales of Archangel Michael and the wisdom of Raphael echoed in my heart, weaving a narrative of courage and hope. Each step felt deliberate, as if I were on sacred ground, where every leaf whispered secrets, and every rustle of the wind carried messages from the universe. In the distance, I could see a faint glow, a luminous presence that beckoned me closer. Drawn by an invisible force, I approached the light until I found myself at the mouth of a hidden alcove. The air buzzed with potential, and the glow radiated from within, pulsing like a heartbeat, inviting me into its embrace. Stepping through the threshold of the alcove, I entered a chamber bathed in an ethereal light. The walls seemed alive, vibrating with vibrations of love and acceptance. In the center stood a pool of water, its surface reflecting the shimmering radiance surrounding it. This pool appeared to be untouched by time, a sacred mirror that held the essence of all that was and all that would be. Kneeling beside it, I gazed into the waters, and words from Archangel Michael resounded in my soul: embrace every part of yourself, for therein lies the birth of your truth. I closed my eyes, inhaling the scents of jasmine and damp earth that flowed from the enchanted space. When I opened them again, the images within the pool swirled and transformed, showing me reflections of my journey, moments of pain, of joy, of laughter, of heartache. Each scene burst forth like a wave crashing against the shore, reminding me of the tapestry of my existence. As I gazed, a soft voice emerged from the depths, a melody carried by the water, inviting me to dive deeper. What you seek lies within, dear one. Dare to immerse yourself in the waters of your own soul. It was Sophia's voice, soft yet unwavering, a gentle reminder of the potential buried beneath my fears. With a trembling resolve, I dipped my hand into the pool. A rush of energy surged through me, electrifying every nerve and unlocking memories previously buried in shadow. I saw them all, the moments I had hidden away, the failures I feared, the dreams I dismissed. Darkness mingled with light, creating a swirl of understanding. As I submerged deeper into the connection of elements, the revelations began to unfold. Every tear cried was a seed planted for growth, every doubt faced was a stepping stone to mastery. In that moment of profound recognition, the water began to shimmer anew, reflecting the lessons that surged forth. The failures were not shackles but catalysts, the pain was not a burden but a bridge to connection. I was reminded that vulnerability was a strength, that my journey wasn't just my own but part of a collective yearning for understanding, healing, and community. Suddenly, a figure stepped forth from the shimmering light within the chamber. Clad in robes that sparkled like stardust and exuding an aura of warmth, it was Michael himself, embodying both grace and authority. You have delved into the depths of your heart, he said, his voice booming yet tender. Now it is time to rise. As if understanding the invitation, I found myself rising from the edge of the pool, a new energy coursing through me. I felt my wings unfurling, the shimmering essence of the divine igniting within my spirit. You are ready to embrace the fullness of who you are, Michael continued. To own your journey is to illuminate the path for others. And then it struck me, a powerful revelation washed over me like a wave of golden sunlight illuminating a darkened room. My story, woven with threads of triumph and adversity, was not just a testament to survival but a beacon of hope for many lost souls navigating their own shadows. Through my experiences, I could offer a hand to those searching for light in their own dark nights. your purpose is intertwined with the stories of others, Michael affirmed. Embrace your voice, for it holds the power to transform lives. Share your lessons, invite others to share theirs, create a space of communion where healing becomes a collective experience. That I stood, charged with energy, realizing that speaking my truth and embracing vulnerability was not just an act of self-liberation, but a sacred call to service. My heart swelled with purpose as I envisioned how this journey could weave connections, heal wounds, and foster understanding in a world often steeped in division and isolation. As I stepped back from the pool, I turned to Michael, eyes glistening with newfound clarity. "Thank you," I breathed, filled with immense gratitude. "You have shown me my path, remember," he replied, a smile softening his divine features. "You are never alone. The angels walk beside you, and the universe supports you in your endeavor. Let your journey serve as a guiding light, a reflection of the divine justice that flourishes within all." With that, the glow enveloped me, wrapping me in a cocoon of enlightenment. I felt all elements of my being harmonizing, fears, the joys, the shadows, and the light, all coalescing into a singular force of purpose. As I stepped back into the world, I understood that my healing journey was just beginning to unfold, revealing layers of connection yet to be discovered. The forest sounds blended with the music of my heart, and as I walked onward, I felt the presence of Archangel Michael, Raphael, Sophia, all the powerful forces guiding me along. And in my heart, I knew that sharing my story, my vulnerabilities, was the greatest gift I could offer the world. With each step, I whispered a prayer, a promise to weave my experiences into a tapestry that would illuminate the paths of those who followed. I would not only seek my own healing but would serve as a lighthouse in the fog of uncertainty and darkness. The truth nestled deep within us, sacred connection blazed before me, leading me home. Beyond the realm of my existence, the world awaited, and I was ready to journey into the light. I emerged into dawn's embrace, the sun rising just as my spirit soared, infused with the knowledge that in sharing my truth, I would ignite countless hearts with the flame of courage and love. As I ventured forth, I carried with me the sacred insight: the embrace of our shadows paves the way for the illumination of our souls, both our own and those of the universe. In the tapestry of existence, love is the thread that binds, and every wound holds the potential for transformation. In the dance of life, we are endlessly interconnected, endlessly searching for the light within and without. It is this clarity that brings peace, the affirmation that we are all part of a larger story, one that unfolds with each step we take together.